This is TV47. Happy holidays.
Well, a very good evening to you. Thank you for making 7 Spotlight this evening from County 001 at our Mombasa studios. Now, this is the home of Untold Stories. I am Mariam Mwacharo. Let's take a look at some of the stories we have for you on tonight's bulletin.
On Spotlight tonight, it's all celebrations for the Shona community after they were granted citizenship by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Niko na furaha sana Kenya ilimtupokea kwa sababu mahali tunaishi hizi sehemu za Kiambu sasa tiko kama ndugu na ndugu, hatina problem yoyote.
Universities Staff Union claims that the cause of financial constraints in the institutions of higher learning is massive corruption and mismanagement of university resources. And on the second part of our special report, The Fall of a Giant, we tell you how family wrangles brought down the one-time giant retail shop, Tuskys Supermarket.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
The Kenya University Staff Union claims that the cause of financial constraints in the institution of higher learning is massive corruption and mismanagement of university resources. The union is accusing the Vice-Chancellor of Kisii University of gross misappropriation of funds and wants the government to suspend him as well as institute a special financial audit on the university. Sharon Baranga reports.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
For the past 1 week, the staff in universities have not been at peace. This is after they learned that the Vice-Chancellor's Committee had recommended that the institutions of higher learning should trim their workforce so as to enable universities to fully recover from the financial effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the Kenya University Staff Union claims corruption and poor leadership is what is ailing the institutions.
Matatizo ambayo yanakumba vyuo vikuu nchini Kenya si matatizo ya wafanyikazi. Ati wingi wa wafanyikazi kama jinsi inavyotolewa katika mijadala tofauti na watu kujiliwaza ati wana suluhisho, ati kuengua wafanyikazi ndio suluhisho lao. Vyuo vikuu leo vinaathirika kwa sababu ya matatizo ya ufisadi. Na mafisadi hawa wapo. Na wengine tumewapeleka serikalini kwenda kuwashtaki kwa vyombo ambavyo vinahusika. Serikali ifuatilie vyuo vikuu vinadorora kwa sababu ya uongozi mbaya.
The University Staff Union accused the Vice-Chancellor of Kisii University of misappropriation of funds.
The information available indicates that Kisii University alone has pilfered more than 66 million shillings, and the larger part of this money has allegedly been used for students' field supervision and teaching practice during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. You know, one wonders, during the lockdown, which schools were operating? Which students were on field attachment and teaching practice to be supervised?
Akama naye pia naye ametoka ameenda kwa serikali amesema kwamba chuo kikuu kuna matatizo ya kifedha. Suluhisho waengue wafanyikazi. Yaani kama akamue chuo kikuu cha Kisii, maziwa anywe yeye mwenyewe, halafu atakapata matatizo awe ni mfanyikazi ambaye hakushiriki katika kazi hiyo.
They now want staff at the university to be paid their salaries, the government to suspend the Vice-Chancellor, as well as institute a special financial audit on the university.
The Vice-Chancellor of Kisii University, Professor John Akama, PhD, has even gone ahead and violated a court order that had given conservatory orders on all employees purported to have been declared redundant, and therefore refusing to pay them their salaries. This blatant contempt of court orders, arrogance and impunity must stop.
Last week, the Vice-Chancellor's Committee came up with a number of recommendations that will enable the institutions of higher learning recover financially from the pangs caused by COVID-19. Apart from reduction of workforce, the committee also proposed an increase in students' fees from 16,000 shillings per year to 48,000 shillings per year, and help loans be increased accordingly to support needy students. This was met by a backlash from students. Other measures proposed to help universities cut their spending are negotiation of contracts with suppliers, extended payment plans, and increased efficiency and effectiveness in the use of facilities and staff. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Elsewhere, a family in Mukinyai, Molo, Nakuru County is mourning the deaths of their 3 young children after they drowned in a quarry waterlogged trench at Mukinyai Secondary School. Grace Wairimu, Victor Kaniauri and Michael Nderitu, aged 15, 12 and 8 respectively, had gone to fetch water in a nearby river before the unfortunate incident. Mukinyai residents protested over the quarry aggregations, threatening not to allow any more quarrying, adding that the quarry is 30 feet deep and this is not the first incident to occur in the area.
Mimi nilipigwa kasi, nilipigwa munisimu nikiwa kasini, kaambiwa watoto wameingia ndani ya maji. Sasa nikatoka kasini nikakuja, kaenda mpaka hapo. Yana nikashuhudia mpaka wakatolewa. Ya mkubwa alikuwa standard 6, wa pili alikuwa 3, wa tatu alikuwa standard 1.
Walikuwa wanaenda kuchota maji, lakini walikuwa wameichota na wakaiweka kando. Ilikuwa imechotwa. Sasa sijui ni nini waliona ndio wakaingia huko kwa hiyo dam.
Nataka kuambia tuko na huzuni sana juu sasa hata kama unatoka Sachangwan ukiangalia mtaro ziko hapa unaangalia ni kifo. Sasa unaona kulikufa mtoto mwingine hapa hivi. Mtoto alianguka na akakufa. Hao ni wengine. Sasa hao ni mtoto wangapi? 4. Na kama nini neema wanakuja hawataki kufunga, tutafanya nini?
Now, leaders from Wajir County have met to deliberate on issues of BBI and their demands. The leaders unanimously agreed to support the document but still push for extra constituencies in counties in northern Kenya. Isadin Haji reports from Wajir.
In a fundraiser meant to support an Islamic school in Tulatula Ward in Wajir County Governor, the 6th Member of Parliament from Wajir and other dignitaries graced the occasion. Discussions on the BBI and extra slots in the county, especially Wajir South, took center stage.
The people of Wajir South have been shortchanged in representation, and we are not quite happy with that. Let that be taken forward and understood that we will leave no stone unturned to ask for our rights.
In terms of the land, we are 80% of the land mass. In terms of resources, our contribution to the GDP is over 25%, and surely that needs to be recognized.
The 6th Member of Parliament from the county unanimously pledged support for the BBI report, with Wajir South Member of Parliament sending stern message to ODM leader Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Still, Wajir are humble. They will support BBI, but they will support BBI more if we are considered for another constituency and better representation and better resources.
We expect the leadership of Kenya and from all levels to work together and support one document unanimously agreed.
Eldas Member of Parliament Adan Kainan led the MPs in ensuring Northern Kenya residents that they are safe with the document that is believed to unify the country.
Na Mheshimiwa Prime Minister Uhuru na viongozi wa Kenya, Sisi tunawalilia, tunataka Wajir ipatiwe kitu kingine, na sisi tukiwa viongozi tumesha decide hiyo kitu tukipata iende Wajir South.
As the people of Wajir County, we strongly support the BBI. That notwithstanding, we request one seat for Wajir County.
As pull and push to correct faults in the document text stall, politicians from the region have been asked to uphold uniting politics rather than abusive confrontation.
Siku hizi nimeona kwa media mnatukanana sana. Hiyo ni aibu sana. MPs wanatakikana wasikilizane, waongee vizuri, lakini kama wako na shida kwa katikati yao, wanamaliza ndani yao.
Si kutusi, si kusimama kwa barabara na matusi. That will not help you. What will help you is to come together and look for the Wajir South seat.
Leaders from northern Kenya have demanded for extra constituency in Wajir, Marsabit, Garissa and Isiolo counties each, but believe it is only through consensus that their demand will be considered. As the BBI debate heightens within pastoral communities in northern Kenya, electors have been urged to support the document, which is in advanced stage, while pushing for extra constituencies, which are yet to be achieved. President Haji, TV47, Wajir County.
On other news, NC leader Musalia Mudavadi has called on leaders to have a stand on the ongoing Building Bridges initiative. Meanwhile, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has been urged to avoid using lack of funds as an excuse in verifying the BBI signatures.
ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi called on political leaders to have a firm stand on the BBI report. His sentiments mixed signals from Deputy President William Ruto on the BBI report.
The document as it was then is not a document that can stand the test of time. Watu wakasema Musalia, oh, you have this, they want to brand you this, I stood my ground. I stood my ground. And the document that came out, the one that I was now putting a signature to at KICC, was now an amended document.
Nairobi County ilikuwa imechukuliwa katika BBI 2. Walisema transfer of functions iwe permanent. Nairobi ikuwe kama department ya serikali ya juu. Nikasema mtu wa Nairobi ako na haki ya kupata devolution kama mtu wa palipopote pengine katika taifa letu.
Meanwhile, leaders drawn from the Luhya community have rallied behind the ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi to run for the top job in 2022.
Na nimerudia nikisema kila mara, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi atatupatia mwelekeo. Aliposema BBI, tukaweka kidole tukaweka. Hapa Makadara nilikuwa coordinator wa Nairobi. Tukapata over 500 signatures.
Mudavadi spoke while attending a church service at Friends Center in Nairobi's Maringo Estate. Meanwhile, Ugunja Member of Parliament Opiyo Wundanyi has called on the electoral body to hasten the process of signatures verification before the bill goes to the county assemblies.
That task of verifying the signatures should not take more than 1 week. Once they get the money, we don't want any more excuses. We know we have got so many enemies of the BBI. They will try to use every trick in the book to sabotage this process.
Joanne Maina, TV47.
Now, preparations are on top gear for the Msambweni by-election slated for Tuesday next week. And as residents of the constituency prepare for the by-election, community-based organizations in Kwale County have urged residents in Ukunda area to vote peacefully. Fatma Ngwena reports from Kwale.
The Msambweni by-election campaign came to an end with the mini poll set for Tuesday, 15th December, with squabbling politics between various politicians causing divisions in the constituency. Community-based organizations from Kwale County have urged residents in Ukunda not to perpetuate hatred between them due to their political differences.
Wanasiasa wanaopigania wajue kwamba wasifanye siasa za vita wala siasa za kumwaga damu.
Human Rights Agenda Coordinator Munyihaji Chamosi has called upon the government to closely monitor the use of social media, which has been fueling political hate speech between two main candidates, Omar Boga of ODM and Faisal Abdullah Bader, who is an independent candidate but hugely supported by DP Ruto allies.
Msambweni na Kwale kwa jumla waweze kumaintain amani wakati huu ambao tuelekea kwa uchaguzi.
According to Nehemiah Bitok, Msambweni Sub-County Police Commander, police officers in the area have been put in place to ensure that there is enough security during the elections.
Panga na deploy officers adequately ya kutoshea, na message yangu kwa watu ya public is that wakuje wapike kura na waende nyumbani wangoje matokeo.
The IEBC officials have already trained observers for elections and have received some of the materials that will be used during the elections. Fatma Ngwena, TV47, Kwale County.
Now we're taking a short break here, but stay tuned for more news when we come back.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, Or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
This is TV47. Happy holidays.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now remember, you can join in on our discussions on social media pages on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter is at TV47 Kenya. Welcome back. Now reports of pregnancies among underage children in the country are still on the rise. And despite such reports being conveyed to the relevant authorities, the matter ceases with them. A good example is of Kilifi County, where at least 10 such cases have not been attended to, with their suspects still walking scot-free.
Tulishikana na kijana mwaka wa 2017 kufika mwaka wa 2018 kashika ujauzito.
This is one instance of children still in their school-going age who were impregnated by young men their age or maybe even older and were left with no choice but to raise their children without attaining justice. It is in Kaloleni sub-county in Kilifi County where Rotuba Kahindi, a standard 8 pupil, is carrying the burden of raising a child while still in school after being impregnated by a boda rider in Mikiriani village. Kahindi, the 7th born in a family of 8, is yet to come to terms with the reality of being a mother and a student at the same time. She reveals that she reported the matter to Kizurini police station and went to Mariakani to fill a medical P3 form with hopes of having her perpetrator arrested. But to date, he is still walking in the streets of Mikiriani.
Mpaka sahi. Mimi wakati mwingine huwa nimetumwa kule na ganda, huwa nikimwona ananipita mbio alafu anaongea na wenzake alafu anaanza kunirusha mikono.
And now Kahindi has been forced to develop a routine to attend to house chores, bring up her child and keep up with her studies simultaneously.
Nikirudi nyumbani ni kuangalia mtoto, awe ameoga, nguo zake amevaa safi. Kwani asubuhi si mhudumii, manake anahudumiwa na mamangu, namhudumia ikiwa ni jioni.
On her part, Kahindi's mother is bitter since she has been forced to dig deep into her pockets to cater for the needs of her grandson, needs that up to date have resulted to deaths.
Kaka na mtoto wangu hivyo, maziwa nanunua hata dakika hii nadaiwa watu wa maziwa. Nikamwacha hivyo, nikasema nitampatia uji. Kule ambako amefika nitampatia uji.
Fatuma Saro, a volunteer children's officer from Chanagande and a spearheader against sexual gender-based violence, says she reports cases with hopes of being summoned in court to give evidence, but this never happens. And now she has more than 10 registered cases, but all their suspects are walking scot-free.
Wakati mwingi vijana wengi huwa hawashikwi. Kwa sababu unapeleka kesi polisi, unatarajia utaitwa kotini uende utoe ushahidi, hiyo kitu inaachia hapo. Hawashughulikiwi kushikwa wale ambao wameka mimba watoto. Kuna kesi zaidi ya kama 10 niko nazo, na ziko na OB number na nilijaza P3 hizo kesi, na vijana hawajashikwa, wanatembea kwa barabara.
The situation has led to Saro being threatened and living in fear with the suspects walking scot-free.
Sasa hii nimekuwa kama mimi sasa wananitishia maisha. Kwa sababu kama nimejaza P3 nimepeleka, alafu kijana hatashikwa. Wafikiria kijana kikupata kwa barabara atakufanya nini? Kwa hivyo sasa hata mimi maisha yangu yako hatarini.
This saddening situation paints a picture of the current state in different parts of the country of school-going children living as victims of sexual abuse, rape and even early pregnancies without attaining justice, while relevant authorities who are expected to provide solutions sit calm. Nanok Lauren, TV47.
Residents of Silale in Baringo County have received what would be the first secondary school in the area since Kenya got its independence. The high school, which will be known as Silale Secondary School, is being built by the Kenya Pipeline Company, which has donated 10 million shillings for the project.
Residents of Silale in Tiaty, Baringo County have a reason to sing and dance. This is after they were informed they will be getting what will be the first secondary school in the area since the country got its independence.
Hii dunia haijajua elimu. Nyinyi leo mmejionea wenyewe. Hii dunia hakuna elimu. Mumeamua kutupatia pesa ya kujenga secondary school ya kwanza tangu uhuru. Tangu Kenya ipate uhuru. Asante.
The school, which will be known as Silale Secondary School, is already being seen as a symbol of hope to the residents who have had to learn to live with frequent bandit attacks in the...
Hii ni mji ambaye imeeleweka kwa mabaya sana tangu hapo awali kwamba ni area ambaye kunakuwa na changamoto kubwa sana ya insecurity. Lakini kwa sababu ya Mungu tangu devolution ingie kumekuwa na mazuri sana.
The secondary school is a breeding site for other advanced schooling. So if you have more children from primary to high school, of course, by high school you have sorted out cat rustling for sure, because you don't have people who have gone to secondary school who are stealing. But then after high school, then you will now transit to those courses. So you will do those other better courses.
It is expected that transition rates from primary to secondary school in the area will increase after the project is complete. Silale Secondary School is being constructed by the Kenya Pipeline Company, which has donated 10 million shillings towards the project. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Moving on, the Shona community is still celebrating their long-awaited after President Uhuru Kenyatta granted citizenship to the over 3,000 members of the community. The group has been pushing for recognition as Kenyans for years now. Andreen Kilemi caught up with them and filed the following report.
Just a day after the Shona community were recognized among Kenyan tribes, and members of the Shona community streamed at their local place of worship for celebrations. The joy was unmistakably noticeable. The songs and praise evident as members of the Shona community grinned from ear to ear.
Lakini kwa leo niko na furaha. Juu ya Bwana Uhuru, president wetu, ametupatia uongozi. Hata sijui tutafanya nini. Mungu ambariki.
Mimi niko na furaha sana Kenya ilimtipokea kwa sababu mahali tunaishi hizi sehemu za Kiambu. Sasa tiko kama ndugu na ndugu, hatina problem yoyote, hata hawatibagui.
What appeared to be a vicious cycle is now a dream come true. Members of the Shona community can proudly and comfortably introduce themselves as Kenyans after over 100 years of statelessness.
Niko na changamoto sana, watoto wangu ni walienda shule kama vile mimi nilienda, wakakosa vyeti za kuingia masekondari, walifika darasa la 7. Hata sasa wako nyumbani wanafanya kazi za mikono.
Nikaoleka nikapata mtoto wangu wa kwanza. Nilimpata nikiwa kwa nyumba. Nilipata mimba nikapata mtoto kwa nyumba. Nikapata complication ya kubreed. Vile nilipo breed kupeleka hospitali Tigoni, wakasema hawezi tusaidia. Hatuna stakabadhi yoyote.
The community alongside the UNHCR among other human rights groups had been pushing for recognition since they relocated to Kenya in the 1960s as missionaries and established a church in Nairobi before settling in Kinoo, Kiambu County as illegal migrants.
Kuja hapa juu ya Injili tukapokelewa na mzee Kenyatta akiwa bado ako. Alafu tukakaa mpaka saa hii.
Shukuru kwa sababu umetimiza mapenzi ya baba yako ambaye ni rais wa kwanza wa hii nchi. Alipokea hawa watu 1960s, akawapatia mpaka mahali pa kujenga kanisa. Aliwapenda, aliamini Mungu wao. Wametuonyesha picha nyingi sana. Babu zao walikuwa wanaenda Ikulu kuombea Rais Jomo Kenyatta.
After attaining the Kenyan citizenship as the 45th Kenyan community, the Shona now shifts its focus to empowering its people. Andrine Kilemi, TV47, Kino, Kiambu County.
Now moving on to sports news, KCB served Kakamega Homeboys a 2-0 beating in an FKF Premier League tie staged at the Kasarani Stadium to maintain their perfect start to the campaign with 3 wins in 3. Simon Obuka lobbed the Bankers ahead 5 minutes to the break with David Owino sealing maximum points in stoppage time. Posta Rangers played to a barren draw at home to Zito as Vihiga United edged out Nzoia Sugar 1-0 to mark its first win of the season.
Kuwakia sana fitness levels zao, kwa sababu ukiona wengine wao watu kama kina Gwanda bado hawajarudi katika ile hali nzuri, ukiona wengine wao kama kina Regan, lakini tunafurahia ya kwamba tunasonga mbele taratibu.
On other sports news, the 2020-2021 FKF Women Premier League kicked off on Sunday. 2016-2017 champions Thika Queens edged out Ulinzi Starlets 2-1 at Utalii grounds courtesy of goals from Fauzia Omar and Sarah Idza as Gentrix Kuyudi scored Ulinzi's consolation goal from the penalty spot in the closing stages of the game.
Wow!
COVID-19 have affected the sports all over the world. It has also affected our players. They have been out for long, 9 months without playing football. And these are ladies. Bringing back them to shape is a big issue.
Preparation imekuwa mzuri na game tumecheza poa. It is only that tumemiss some chances. Na opponent amepata chance ametumia. That is normal in game. But what I can assure you, this game, this league, tutamaliza on top.
Now, Jeffrey Schlupp struck late to earn Crystal Palace a hard-fought 1-1 draw against Tottenham in the reign of Selhurst.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out! It's gone on too long!
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
Giant as we finish this bulletin tonight. Enjoy it and enjoy the rest of our programming.
Wakasema watakuwa natukata 20% na tukukubaliana nao. Then after that tukaenda unpaid leave. Unpaid leave after hiyo tena wakatukata 70%.
Tuko na familia, tunaumia kwa nyumba, we want our money. Si eti ni pesa yenye tunawakopa, ni pesa yetu tumefanyia kazi. Ukiona ka uniform ni ya bakery.
So 50% ya unpaid na 20% COVID. Of which walikuwa wanasema hiyo COVID watachangia watu wenye wameafektiwa. Uvicha tuko na kufanya kitu kama hiyo.
We want our money. Na hii demonstration si eti ni ya mwisho. Hii ndio kianzio. Tumeanzia saa hii. We are warning you even tomorrow, next week. Hadi mfunge maduka mkitaka kufunga ndio tujue imeanguka, muende na pesa yetu. Lakini before tunafanya demonstration kila duka. We are coming to your headquarters Mombasa Road. Mfunge vile mulifunga siku nyingine, tutapita na nyinyi, tunataka pesa. Period.
January 23rd, year 2015, Daniel Githua, who was the first CEO in the 25-year history of Tuskys Supermarket, was fired by the company's family for allegedly breaching his contract of employment. In a letter, the company's board of directors stated lack of respect to stakeholders as well as poor performance of the company compared to previous years. In this video, some family members of Tuskys founder are captured kicking out Mr. Githua, accusing him of defying the letter of termination.
Get out.
Tuskys family accused Mr. Githua of hiding the fact that he was the majority owner of Artemis Outsourcing, a company that recruits the retail chain's employees. However, Daniel Githua was reinstated as the retailer's CEO later in 2016.
Inapata tuseme one of the directors pia ni main supplier. Ana import vitu kutoka ngambo, anazileta from insider, anasema zinalipwa cash na hizo vitu zake si vitu zinauza.
Wakaleta mambo ya JKLP, hiyo unasoma online. Tuliambiwa at the end of that course tutapatiwa ma certificates. Walisema wamelink na Riara.
If these people were people of integrity, if they had competent managers, I am pretty sure they would have managed the loss. Because every business can go through a loss period. But a comeback, it's the management and the integrity of the person who is managing this business.
Because no one of the directors is the one who was liaised with this CEO. Anaitwa Mukua. He's the one who was liaised with the directors. In a way, that liaised with the CEO. In a way, like, I don't know, because he's the one who was like overall in charge of other directors. You know, you see, when a solution was trying to be found, unashtukia, they have sat down as a team. But then there's one person who is saying, I'm not going to sell. There's a time they wanted to sell shares, you remember? And now they sat down, these directors, I think in the presence of the CEO. But one of them, aka withdraw, akasema, no, we know what is happening here. What is happening here, unless I'm told where these 20 billion shillings went, that's when I'm going to sign a paper.
The management never used to take responsibility, because if I tell you why I was fired, I had actually taken a day off. And then I got a phone call in the evening. I've been summoned to the HQ.
Then they came with another solution. At CG, there's a letter from, there's a funding from Mauritius that is coming to come and so that at least the normal business may run. Then, I don't know, along the way, I think they were given 500 million shillings. The funding was almost 2 billion shillings. Your 500 million is what was given to us. Unalipwa tu pesa kidogo, unaenda unapata account 3,000 shillings. Mwingine 4,000, mwingine 6,000. After waiting for all that long,
And after a back and forth, when you're finally given the show cause letter, the things that you're being told are those, you're told that the shop was overstocked or understocked. So you see, the management never used to take responsibility. When you tell them that this supply is not supplying, they ask you who told you so.
Kuna hizo checks walikuwa na sign ati mali wamereceive mali hizo, yani wamereceive hiyo pesa, wana sign hizo check, pesa inalipwa, lakini inalipwa kwa kitu haijakuwa supplied, na hiyo cheki ishaandikwa na pesa imetolewa, lakini hakuna mali imekuwa supplied.
So I can say outrightly that those two people are the ones who have brought a downfall to Tuskys. It is clear and open. Even if you talk to the workers, even most of them may not just come out in public and speak. But even if you talk to them, those two people are the ones who have brought a big downfall to the growth of Tuskys. They are the ones who have sat down, squandered money. I don't know what they have done. At the end of the day, a very big super brand like Tuskys, which has helped so many people, including me, is crumbling down. I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway. And I'm happy that I worked with them all that long. But even if it is to come back to where it was, I think it will take so many years. I see a very thin future. That's what I can say.
So wakubwa kama CEO amekuwa yeye ndio anafaa kusimamia kampuni, lakini ako na kampuni nje, bado ndio yeye anaandika hao watu, so analeta watu wake pale, hao watu wake ndio wamekuwa siphon money kutoka kwa kampuni.
The moment they now came and began to incriminate the employees, that was where the problem with the Tuskys began. So, but Tuskys may come back to the limelight, but I think it will take too long. It's not something that will take one day or two. There are people who have just left jobs. They walked away. Like now, if you go to the shops, Opata line mzima, it has one person, two people. Many people go this kind, they left jobs. Many people are terminated without pay. Many people you see, mpaka leo, there is court confrontations. That is what has brought problems. But I don't think it may come back to light, but it might take too long.
Kuna wenye wanatumia fare. Ilifikia mahali mpaka uwezi enda kwa nyumba, ukitoka kazi ulipe watchman. Hao wanakuwa wanaeka magari inaekwa kwa nini, kwa parking town. Unalipa watchman, ulale kwa gari. So ina imagine unajaribu kusave pesa, ulale at least 3 days per week. Hiyo ufiki nyumbani, unalala kwa gari, uende job. Ndio sasa haya, upige absent, uende ufanye kibarua at least, ndio uweze kuendelea kupata fare kwenda kazini. Lakini mshahara tumekuwa tukidanganywa next week haijaifika.
Like if you look at other branches like Nakumatt, Uchumi, there's a time that reached, even the employees were selling merchandise up to line. But it has never happened with the workers of Tuskys. So easy, even the security firms, they went for a cold strike. Unatoka tu kwa shop usachiwe. Ukiambia soja kwa mlango wa kusearch, anasema we were told not to search people by their management. Kwa sababu even them themselves, they are not getting paid for the work they are doing. Now tell me, if as an employee I take advantage of that, how many things will I pick from the shop and go with them at home? It's too embarrassing for you people to treat us in that manner.
If you say that product, that supply is not delivering, they tell you to order for a substitute product. When you order for the substitute product, you know when a customer is used to one thing, if they used to having ugali with jogoo, even if you bring another, let's say like let me not name any other product, but you bring another substitute that they are not comfortable with, they will not buy that product. So that is where you find that now you have an overstock. So now when the management comes, they are going to tell you you have an understock and an overstock. But this is already created by the fact that the supply is not paid.
In 2016, 2 directors of Tuskys chain of supermarkets were charged with stealing over 1.6 billion shillings from the company. Stephen Mukuha Kamau and George Kamau are alleged to have committed the offense in Nairobi on diverse dates. The two were released on a cash bail of 1 million Kenyan shillings. In 2017, Nakumatt and Tuskys supermarkets presented a major request to the Competition Authority of Kenya in an attempt to rescue struggling Nakumatt supermarket. However, it was a merger that never happened after Tuskys shareholder Yusuf Mugweru, through lawyer Philip Murgo, objected to the proposed merger. Yusuf Mugweru, the fourth born of the 7 siblings, claimed that he was never consulted or provided with information regarding the proposed merger. Yet Kenyan law requires all shareholders of a firm to unanimously consent to such a transaction.
So kuna watu wameteseka na wengine hata vitu zao zikauzwa mpaka na landlords juu anataka kurecover pesa yake. Kuna wengine mabibi wametoroka juu hiyo shida wamepitia. Bibi anaona afadhali nenda kwetu. Yaani amekuacha tu hivyo, amepotea. Huwezi jua bado kama ako town amechukuliwa na mtu mwingine ama ameenda kwao. Kuna watu wamesumbuka hivyo. Kuna wenye mpaka yani wajamaa wanafikia mwisho, yani anafikiria kujitoa uhai. Kama kuna mwingine aliseviwa na majirani. Bibi ametoroka. Watoto watoto walikuwa na wasichana wakubwa. Wasichana wametoka wameenda sijui ni maboyfriend wamepata. Wanajaribu kutafuta kitu ya kula. Jamaa yeye hana nyumba, alifungiwa, alipata kwanza hiyo siku kufuli. Akabomoa dirisha akaingia. Landlord akaenda akaambiwa kuna dirisha yako imebomoa, lakini kufika ndani alipata jamaa alikunywa sumu hapo. Majirani ndio walikuja kumuokoa.
And especially some on the CEO and the finance manager, how they used to put up, not even right now, from like 2 years ago, how they were putting up plots along Thika Road. And when they say that money is being embezzled, it is not a lie. It is something that has been going on. The people in HQ have been embezzling money. I'm not saying it is the CEO only. It is not the CEO only, or it's not the finance manager only. People at the HQ, at the DC, have been embezzling money, and that is why right now there is no money to pay suppliers, there's no money to pay rent, there's no money to pay staff, because all the money that used to come in because of sales has gone to other things. So no matter the PR that they do, no matter the stage managing that they do, right now they say they are holding meetings with creditors, they are holding meetings with suppliers, but the trust is already broken. The point that they are in right now, they don't have the upper hand. All their hands have been played right now. So for them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back. But I think it will be honorable for them to at least pay the staff, because these guys are still running their branches. If you've heard the stories from last week or this week, you've heard how people have been paying themselves salaries, because it has gotten to a point where there is no hope. You know, 1-2 months you feel that maybe there is hope that things will get better. But when you get to the 5th month, you're almost coming to the close of the year, and there is nothing. That is why people are getting to desperate measures. So I don't think Tuskys will come back, and if it does, it will be a miracle.
Hotpoint Appliances filed a petition against Tusky's supermarket, seeking to liquidate the supermarket chain over debt. The petition was heard at the Commercial and Tax Division of the High Court in Milimani, Nairobi. The appliance company said the supermarket failed to pay up despite a repeated request, leaving the company no option other than suing. However, the High Court allowed Tusky's and Hotpoint 45 days to negotiate outside the court.
Right now, there is supplier debt. But in real sense, it's not like Tusky's has not been selling. It has been selling. But where has this money been going? That's why I mentioned this FlexPay. This money was not going directly to Tusky's, but the goods were going out of the shop. So the money was not going to Tusky's directly. So the management person I told you that came out under this that story was because that money was embezzled. In real sense, the money that went to Tusky's was never the same that came into FlexiPay. Yeah. So that's why you will find suppliers have not been paid because the money that was actually sold is not there in real sense. Yeah, when you look at sales, you've made sales, but cash back, there's no cash back because that Lipa Pole Pole used to take a lot of sales because when you look at a shop, furniture, electronics, those are the things that make most of the sales. So, and those are the things that are under that FlexiPay. So, when that cash is not coming back, that's why you will find that this supply is not being paid.
With these employees mentioning the company by the name FlexPay for a number of times, we wanted to know how was their relationship with Tusky's supermarket. Some of the employees alleged that some suppliers, especially those who sold items such as furniture and electronics, did it on credit terms. Once in Tusky's stores, some customers were able to purchase the goods in installments. This was after Tusky sought the services of a software company, FlexPay. But once goods were purchased, they say, the monies never saw light of the day. It became a sickening cycle that will make it impossible for the retail giant to pay the creditors. In this response sent to Mboni team after we told them of the allegations, a FlexPay official said,
"Hi Samuel. Like we had stated earlier in our previous email, FlexPay enables merchants in different industries to boost sales by enabling customers to pay for goods and services in flexible and affordable amounts over stipulated time frame. As such, all products delivered by our merchants, Tusky's included, are settled immediately to the merchants according to contractual guidelines and all documentation is kept. We are not even aware of the allegations below. Therefore, we categorically say false, false, yes. Thanks."
If you do not pay your workers well, you're exposing them to these products. How are you going to curb theft by servant? If I don't pay you in time, I'm living in a rented house where I'm supposed to be to pay my rent by the 5th, and then you give me my salary on the 10th. So that means my morale is down. So these 5 days that I'm waiting for my salary, I'm not even concentrating on my work because I'm like, I do not know whether when the time I go back home, I will be having somewhere to lay my head.
With all eyes directed to the retail's management, we knocked doors at the headquarters along Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. We wanted to have a word with Daniel Gedua, Tusky's Chief Executive Officer, but he was not in his office. After getting his email address with the help of this man, we sent an email to Mr. Gedua mentioning the employee's allegations, as well as requesting an on-camera interview for him to comment on the same. However, after 1 week without any response, we head back to the head office, hoping that he would be around. But again, he was nowhere to be seen. After another week, we knock doors again at the headquarters. This time, we find an empty reception. Why are they not willing to comment about the future of Tuskys? As this episode goes on air, no one had responded to our emails, both the Chief Executive Officer Daniel Githua and Tuskys Supermarket Analyst Stephen Malwa.
Tunaenda Kasarani ama KICC, tunashukuru Mungu kwa kazi ya Tuskys, lakini siku hizi hii hakuna, hiyo walitoa.
For those who had the pleasure of being part of the Tuskys fraternity, the experiences they had, whether bad or good, will not escape their minds anytime soon.
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost. What you do is you count your losses. Can I be able to start all over again? Can they? Yes, they can. Is this a matter? Yeah, it would mean that they'll close up a few branches and then go back to re-strategize, get their financials right, and management. It is important to get competent managers. If it is human resource, don't get just anybody.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback. Either way, for employees and the customers, they'll have to wait, hoping that tomorrow things will be better. Reporting for TV47, my name is Samuel J. Wainaina.